Today I'm just working in my mixed media journal that I've actually been writing in. So it's just this Strathmore visual journal for mixed media, and I just use it for paint and writing and whatnot. So I don't want to keep any of this writing, it's just me journaling. So I'm going to use some of this inexpensive craft paint. So it's a little bit opaque, and I've shaken these up really well. I'm going to use this card just to quickly apply this over. So this is more transparent than I thought, but that's okay. I'm going to use some collage as well. It actually looks like it's making the ink stand out more now that it's wet. And I'm not sure what kind of pen I used. It might have been a micron pen. So I'm just going to let that dry, and then I'm going to use some collage papers on it. This is a sheet of deli paper that I had just from the jelly plate. So I'm going to use some of that. Not thinking too much. I really like the contrast in this piece. Just using some matte medium for my glue. So you could use a brayer as well. Just want to get all the air bubbles out. You could also use a glue stick. It's just in your journal. It's not like I'm making anything for sale. I'm just trying out some ideas. Dug out just a piece of black, totally black. Again, this is on deli paper. So when you're doing this, you don't want to be thinking too much. You want to try and make a decision and glue it down. You can always cover it with paint if it's totally wrong, or another piece of paper. I have some plain bits here as well. Okay, I'm going to put that down. This is just part of a big paint chip from the paint store. A little bit heavier of cardstock there. So I'm feeling like this needs something bright, so I'm going to dig through. Oh, here's something right here. Perfect. Let's see. I do like it there, even though it's weird that it's kind of in the center, but I'm going to go with that. See where it leads me. So that's got 4 pieces in it, which is an odd, it's not odd. I prefer an odd kind of numbers, so let me put this over here. Now I'm going to come back in around the edges here with some white gesso now. I want to leave some of the words to peek through. I thought it'd be kind of neat to be able to see them, but not really be able to read everything I wrote. So this has been my take lately on Julia Cameron's morning pages from her book, The Artist's Way. And I did those morning pages for many years, just in a lined book, but decided to start doing them in my journal and using them as a backdrop. So that's been my practice with that for the last while. So now I want to go into these journals and just start working with my backdrops. I often start a painting like that anyway, by writing in the background. Going to go back into my background again and put another layer on just to tone it in a bit more in places. It just feels a little bit surrounded by white. So now the paper is not as absorbent, and I've got quite a bit of layers on here of gesso over top. Just going to use a rag and wipe some of this back as well, just to give it a more kind of weathered, rustic look. So really, I'm just messing around in my sketchbook, trying things, you know, practicing composition. It never hurts to practice. It doesn't matter how much you've painted before. You can always come up with some new ideas, and this can you know, help you when you're working on your paintings. It may give you something to go back to as well. There, now that's got a more interesting background to it. Feeling like it needs something to hold it together there. Offset those a little bit, makes it more interesting. So I'm going to draw some lines with a Posca pen, just leading in, I think, from the top. maybe I'm just going to try this enclosure. Come back in and make this black stronger. With the matte medium, it really toned it down, and I want some darker value in here to give it a little stronger layering effect, so you can really see what's sitting on top. Also going to come in with some white paint and bring a bit of white back in places. Never be afraid of erasing something with white paint. And this is the thing about building up layers and making decisions, is we need to keep going back and forth. So I've decided to put some more of my collage paper down on this edge. Didn't like the white. The other thing that I have that I might try is this little bit of fabric. I'm not sure if it really does anything, so if in doubt, leave it out. I think it definitely looks better now with having that edge a different color. And I've also rotated it upside down as well.